So we are in SewArt, and you probably know that you can create knockdown stitch areas in SewWhat-Pro, but you can do something very, very similar just using SewArt. So I'm going to show you how. The first thing you need to do is to get the shape that you want to make the knockdown stitch area of. And SewArt has a bunch of different built-in shapes. So let's just select one. We can do a circle, for example, and then I'm going to stretch it out to make it the size that I want, and then I want to make it all one color. So I'm going to grab my paint bucket tool. I will choose, I'll be boring and choose black here, and I'm going to, I chose black, maybe I didn't. And I am going to make my stroke and my fill the same color, not the background, undo, but the outline. So we have all one color, doesn't matter what color it is. Then I'm going to go to my stitch creation area, and then I'm going to make a few selections before I save this out as a stitch file. I already have these selections made because I've been playing with this, but I want to use the default fill. I'm going to uncheck underlay. I'm going to change my separation to about an 8 and my length to 40, and I'm just doing my angle at 45 degrees. None of these, you can experiment with all of these settings, but and SewArt has all sorts of crazy fills here, but I'm just trying to create something that looks like the underlay or the nap tack stitch area that you can make in SewWhat-Pro. So I'm just going to select my circle, and it will take on those properties right there and say OK. And now I have a knockdown stitch area, so I can stitch that out first and then stitch a design on top. Now, so I can just save this as an embroidery file if I want to, but I'm not going to bother to save it. Another thing you can do, if you don't like the shapes that are in SewArt, you can work with a vector-based drawing program. Like right here, I have Inkscape, and this is a free program that you can download. And there's a whole bunch of different shapes that you can access here. You can even draw your own shape if you want. But I'm just going to grab one of these crazy shapes that they have in there. Here's a star. And then I'm going to save it as an SVG file. I'll put it on my desktop for now, and I'll call it star and save it. Then I will go over to SewArt. Let's create a new document, and I will open that star file, which is on my desktop. Okay. And the great thing about a vector-based file is that, well, this is quite large actually right now, so I may want to scale it down, but the great thing about it is that it can immediately detect it as one shape. So we can apply a color to it. Maybe I applied white. I think that's maybe what I did. Let's just undo that. Let's get a different color. Okay, and we'll make it distinct color. We'll go on over to our stitch mode, and we can do the exact same thing that we did before. And now we have a different type of knockdown stitch area. I probably should have resized it before I did it, but just to give you a sense for exactly how you do that. So let's take a look at how these knockdown stitch areas that we created in SewArt stitch out. And of course, if you wanted to combine it with another design, it would really help to have a program like SewWhat-Pro. But if you don't have it, you don't want to pay for it, you could probably, if you're doing something that you know fits inside of the circle, if you're very careful about sizing, then there's no reason why you can't just stitch out that knockdown stitch area and then stitch your monogram on top. So let's see what it looks like.
Okay, so I just finished stitching out my knockdown stitch area, and I want to show you how it turned out. There's a little string caught in here we can just yank out. But do you see how that really tamped down this area? I stitched it out in white so it would blend into the fabric. And that's exactly what you want to do on like a towel. And so if you know your size and your dimensions, you can easily stitch out a design that's going to fit in that area. So that's how you build a knockdown stitch area in SewArt.